In this video, I'm painting my first acrylic painting. I'm trying to emulate the alla prima approach that Carol Marine describes in her book Daily Painting. Things don't go to plan. I end up doing a lot of improvisation. I'm trying to create a painting of these flowers that looks like an oil painting, and I'm also trying to recreate the experience of painting in oils. I don't have as much footage as I hoped for. I made two mistakes. I forgot to lock the focus on the camera and I kept on standing in front of it. These are mistakes I need to learn from the next time I film a process video. Let's get on with the painting. The drawing of the sunflowers is ready to go. I'm using a Stillman & Byrne Beta Series sketchbook. I've got the windows open. Acrylics don't give off the noticeable fumes you get from the solvents used in oil painting, but they may give off chemicals as they dry, so it's better to be safe than sorry. I've got some paper towels for cleaning the brushes. I've got some brushes that I recently bought for painting with acrylics, and some old System 3 brushes which I've had for many years. I've got some water for cleaning the brushes, but I'm hoping to get most of the paint off onto the paper towel. I've got some wet paper to rest the brushes on when I'm not using them, and a brush and a ruler to use as a mahl stick if I need to rest my hand on something while I'm painting details. And I've got all of the paints that I mixed in the last video. In Carol's approach, she paints the most vulnerable areas first. The vulnerable areas are the small islands of saturated colour that you want to look pristine. So her method is you paint them first, you paint slightly over the edges of where they should be, and then you cut the other colours back into them. If you want to learn more about Carol's approach, you'll have to buy her book. There's a link to it in the description. I'm starting to add the brightest yellow of the petals. I'm immediately disappointed with the transparency of the colour and the way the paint isn't adhering to the surface. This is largely due to the slow drying medium that I've added. I'm certainly not going to use this next time. I persevere, adding the bright yellows. I'm trying to match my brush strokes to the direction of the petals. I was conscious of the easel rocking as I painted, but I didn't realise it was as bad as this. This is something I will have to sort out for next time. I add the dark disc florets. I return to the petals to add some variety to the colour. Once again, I'm trying to match the direction of my brush strokes with the direction of growth in the petals. I start off by adding some of the darker colours closer to the middle. And then I add some more bright yellows in a thicker paint. I'm painting the lights and then the darks in the leaves. I'm beginning to get a better feel for how the paint behaves now. I then paint the stalks, painting the light side and then adding some dark sides as a shadow. I'm painting the inside of the vase, primarily the darks. For the walls, I'm painting the areas in shade first and then feeding the lights into them. I blend the colours in the wall by skimming the brush lightly over them. I finished the painting by adding some of what Carol calls bling. I added some bright yellow without the slow drying medium onto the petals. I also added some white reflections onto the vase. This is the finished painting. It took almost exactly an hour to paint. The painting's not a disaster and I learnt a lot from it. The underdrawing was essential. It really holds everything together, and having it allowed me to focus on the painting. All in all, this has been a really good learning experience, and I'm looking forward to the next one. The next exercise in Philip Tyler's Drawing and Painting the Landscape is alla prima painting, so I'm going to find a simple landscape to paint. Please check out the rest of the playlist about creating this painting and let me know if there's anything I can do to make the content more useful. Thank you for watching.